Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Recently, Military First got in touch and said that they've got a new line of military outdoor boots from a Polish company called Protector. So these are the Grom Unique 929 boots. Now, Grom Unique 929 is a bit of a mouthful, so I'm just going to refer to them as the 929 boots from now on. So I've been testing these now for the last 6 weeks. I've done plenty of walks with these. I've been out into the moorlands. I've even done a day out in the city with these as well. The only thing that I haven't done these is, I suppose you'd say, field tested, worked out what these boots are like. And I'm sure Protector used the name Grom specifically with these boots, and these are tough as hell. The features that they've thrown into these, especially with the name Protector as the name of your company, we'll have a look at exactly how these can protect your feet whilst you're wearing them. And I will say that you definitely feel protected. I was trying to think of a witty thing to say, but at the end of the day, you definitely feel protected whilst wearing these. So starting with the no, actually, let's start where I should do. So as far as the sizing is concerned, these are a UK size 9, which is a US size 10, and an EU size 43. I thought it were perfectly as a UK size 9 do. I will say that there's just an extra little bit in them as well, which I think is great, mainly because of putting a thicker sock on through the winter. But in the summer, I think if I was to wear a thinner sock on through the winter to keep my feet warm. Now, getting back to the other part. As far as the upper is concerned, these are made with velour leather, which is really nice and tough. The whole upper, from the rand here at the front all the way through to the heel and then up through to the mid ankle support in here, again, is all made from this same leather. These are a mid boot, which I actually quite prefer a mid boot. I find with the mid boot you get the best of the properties from a trainer or a boot that stops at the ankle, and a higher boot, mainly for that additional ankle support, which I found that these are great with. Some of the issues that you can get with a full or a tall boot is in your ankles. Certainly not found any restriction through walking with this. I think mainly this is the way that this has been stitched, so they've made sure that the leather folds in just the right areas to make sure that you get that kind of movement within the boot. These are a very firm boot as well, and I think as far as kind of the toughness is concerned, what you're getting with the additional protection, you might be lacking in some of the subtlety over some of the boots. They have referred to themselves as a lighter boot. This is definitely a heavier boot designed to protect your feet as much as possible. The leather on this is really nice, so you can see I have got some mud on here today, but you know, to stop any of that kind of heel strike or items that may come past your inner or past your sole and hit the boot there, which I think is great. And on the front as well, you also have a really durable rand that comes up, so the midsole comes up directly into the toe region, and then you have an additional rand here to protect your toes. Now, they do mention on the website that they have additional toe support in here. For me, I can't wear, because of my hobbit's feet, I can't wear toe-tector boots. I need my toes to be able to move around as much as possible. That was one of the things I was concerned about with these, because they do specifically mention additional protection and reinforcement within the toe. That is specifically this the additional rand that comes up past the toe box and over it, and on the inside there is an additional piece of plastic or piece of resin in here that protects the toe. If you're concerned about that these are toe tectors where they come to here, you'd say, and there's no movement within there, I can confirm that it's not, which is great. But what I will say is, just around this toe area here, this is where that additional reinforcement comes in. Makes perfect sense to me. I hadn't really thought about this on other boots in the past, but having used these, you get the best of both worlds. You've got that kind of quasi toe tector in there, but it's malleable enough to allow your toes to move. I said, asked Mrs. Mullins, feel free to stamp on my toes, and had no issues with it whatsoever. So yes, very nice. Let's take a step back and move back up the boots. So the laces on here, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lace points. The lace points on here are fast lace pulls, so if you want to put these on and you want to put them on quickly, you can do a fast pull on this, which I'm trying to do with my hands, and it's always difficult. I mean, I always do it with my hands, I can't do it with my teeth, but when you're trying to do it whilst filming, you can give them a full pull and then it will lace up very quickly. The tongue that's in here is a full tongue, and the tongue comes up past the ankle. You just knot. So there you go. On the inside as well, you also have a membrane on the inside as well for additional water protection, which again is great. On has to have orthotics, whatever they're called, or you have specific ones that you no, I always use this brand. Then you can take the ones out of here and you can put them in. I'm not that kind of person, to be fair. I generally just go with the ones that are in whatever boots that I have. I think there's only ever been, and I'll say they're very comfortable. I have one of them on now, and barefoot and cold. But yes, very comfortable. They have a nice bit of cushion and also a good bit of spring back as well. So yeah, the lacing system on it is, I don't think they've reinvented the wheel on the lacing system, but I think in the grand scheme of things, going then down into the sole, the midsole on this is a PU material, which gives you just enough kind of pushback when you need to make sure that you can feel some spring. Heel strikes on this, I haven't found that I've had any issues. I've been walking through the woods like this. I've been walking in the moorlands, where certainly out on the Millstone Grit, which is very tough and quite severe on your feet after a long day's walking. I found that I haven't had any issues with these. As far as distances, I've put in a 5 mile and I've put in an 8 mile with these. Again, more that I've got from any other longer distances that I put in with other boots. Past the midsole, then onto the sole itself. This is constructed from rubber. You know, it does a great job. I'd say that the grip on this, because it's rubber, is very good. As I mentioned, walking out in the moorlands, you get a lot of sandy Millstone Grit, which in itself is very grippy, but on wet occasions can be like a bar of soap. It can be difficult to get some grip on, and these have done very well. It is classed as ladder supported heel, so there is a decrease in here. So if you need protective qualities that Protector promote with the Grom Unique 929 boot, as well as that these are also acid and heat protected, so up to 180 degrees, and also for the rubber and the leather coatings on here to make sure that this is protected against certain acids as well. Now, all in all, when you have these on, they just feel like a normal boot. But what I will say is that they are a little bit heavier than some other boots themselves to be a lighter boot. This is a good old-fashioned, if you need to do something that involves a bit of heft, you need boots that you can kick. Maybe you wouldn't kick some poop with them, but you know what I mean. Hopefully you know what I mean. So yes, I'll leave some links for these below. I'd say for my first introduction to Protector and their Grom series, I can definitely see why they decided to name suits these. So of course I'll leave some links below. Now I do want to say a huge thank you to Military First who sent me these. Military First have supported my channel for the last 5 years. If you don't know who they are, Military First are one of the largest, if not the largest, military and outdoors enthusiast stroke gear suppliers. They stock so many different ranges. For me, they're my go-to for things like Helicon Tex. but also they have a lot of other ranges outside just kind of your clothes and that sort of soft goods. They certainly stock a lot of boots, and yeah, so this is a new line that they've started, and I would definitely recommend these. They're a good solid boot. They really are a solid boot. So I'll leave their links below so that you can see more from these and also from Military First. I'll also leave some of my social media links here on Moorlander EDC and my sister channel, Moorlander Tactical. But for now, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, stay EDC. Kind of blinded now. I looked into the sun and now I've got that weird bluey green spot in front of my face that I can't seem to get rid of. It's annoying. Where were we? Hi! Lots of little flies today. I can see them on the lens. I'm guessing you guys probably can't. Bloody flies. Get me in the summer and the winter, don't they? Probably get bitten. Anyway. Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now, if you're new to the channel, then hi. I can hear someone all the way over there. Stay away from me, I'm filming. I'm not one of those kind of people, but... About their Grom Unique 929 boots. Grom Unique 929 boots. These are also acid and heat protected as well, so they go up to temperatures of in excess of... In excess? I can't see that, can I? Fucking sun's doing my tits in. Shit kickers. What do you call, from wherever you are in the world, what are those hobnail boots? What are those tough ass boots that you put on? Like I say, Dad's a Welshman, he called them shit kickers. What do you call them where you're from? They're not designed for kicking poop. They're designed for being tough. But yeah, let's hear in the comments, what is your local name for a tough shit kicker boot? This is probably going to get demonetized by YouTube because I've said the S word a few times now, but yeah, let's hear what you call them in the comments below.